Good morning, students. In the chapter Life Processes, so far we have learnt about autotrophic nutrition. In that we have learnt about photosynthesis. What is photosynthesis? Process of synthesizing the stored form of synthesizing the stored forms of energy using CO2, carbon dioxide and water in the presence of chlorophyll and sunlight. In this process there are three events. First event is absorption of light, energy, and second event is conversion of light energy into chemical energy. Then splitting water into hydrogen and oxygen. What this process is called? Photolysis of water. Why it is called photolysis of water? Photo means light energy. Photo means light. Lysis means breakdown. So water is broken down using light energy into hydrogen and oxygen. So only it is called photolysis of water. So in second event, photolysis of water is taking place. Third event, using the hydrogen that is available from the photolysis of water, carbon dioxide is reduced. So reduction of carbon dioxide into what? Carbohydrates. By the addition of hydrogens to carbon dioxide, it is getting converted into carbohydrate, that is glucose. Okay, third event is reduction of carbon dioxide into carbohydrates. And these three events in many of the plants, they take place one after the another immediately. But in some plants they cannot take place one after the another immediately. Example, desert plants. In desert plants, what happens? Desert plants live in water deprived conditions. So desert plants are living in which type of conditions? Water deprived conditions, because in the desert water is very less, groundwater is less, rainfall is less. So during the daytime, if they keep their stomata open, by transpiration the limited available water also will be lost. So they close the stomata during the daytime. But how the CO2 can be taken in by the plants? CO2 can be taken in by the plants through their stomata. So during the daytime, stomata are closed. So can the plants take the CO2 during the daytime? No. So during the night time only they can take the CO2. But the light energy is available only during the daytime. So availability of light energy is during the daytime, and availability of carbon, not availability, uptake of carbon dioxide can take place during the night time. So the CO2 that is taken during the night time is converted into an intermediate form. Why? Because CO2 is unstable, because it is a gas. So in a stable intermediate form, the CO2 is converted. And on this intermediate form of CO2, the light energy will act on, and during the daytime photosynthesis is carried out. This is how the photosynthesis is carried out in desert plants. Whatever it may be, light energy is captured by what? Chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is a green colored pigment. Chlorophyll is present in specialized cellular organelle called chloroplasts. Chloroplasts can be seen as green dots in the cross section of any leaf. Let us prove the chlorophyll is essential for photosynthesis. Let us conduct an activity which proves that chlorophyll is essential for photosynthesis. Activity to prove chlorophyll is essential. Chlorophyll is essential for photosynthesis. Activity to prove chlorophyll is essential for photosynthesis. For this, we are taking a potted plant with variegated leaves. Variegated means patches of colors. Patches of variegated leaves. Now, what are we doing? Example for such plants are croton, money plant. Money plant are the examples for the plant with variegated leaves that grow in pots. Keep this plant under dark for 3 days, so that in photosynthesis what is produced? Starch is produced, stored form. Entire starch gets utilized up. Entire starch gets utilized up. Entire starch gets utilized up. So, when the potted plant with variegated leaves is grown, when it is kept under dark for 3 days, entire starch is getting utilized up. Now you are taking this potted plant out from the dark, and what are you doing it? You keep this plant under sunlight for 6 hours. Keep this plant under sunlight. Only for 6 hours. Only for 6 hours. Why only for 6 hours? Because limited photosynthesis only should be carried out. Then pluck a leaf. So this is variegated leaf. There are some green patches. Remaining areas, other color patches may be there, or non-green areas will be there. So take a paper and on the paper mark this or trace this. Trace these green color patches. So on this you mark these green color patches. Tracing is over. Now what will you do? Right? Take the leaf, dip in boiling water. Dip this leaf in boiling water. In boiling water. So that if any cellular activities are taking place, all of them will get arrested. Wherever the starch is present, there itself it will remain. It will not be getting utilized up, it will not move anywhere. Right? So, starch utilization gets arrested. Now what will you do? When you dip this leaf in boiling water, the starch utilization is getting arrested. It will not move anywhere. So for only few minutes you have to do this activity. Then take this leaf out and put it in a beaker which is containing alcohol. So take a beaker and in this keep alcohol. In this alcohol containing beaker you put your leaf. With this itself is your work completed? No. There is a special instrument called water bath. Okay. Water bath means it is an electric instrument in which water is present. Here some knobs will be there with which you can increase or decrease the temperature. Here water will be present. You keep this beaker in this water bath. This beaker, what is present? Alcohol is present, and in that you have kept your leaf. Okay, you have kept your leaf. So by raising the temperature of that water, the alcohol in the beaker also, it starts boiling. Why can't we directly heat the alcohol containing beaker on flame? Alcohol is highly inflammable. If you give flame, it will catch fire. If you give only heat through the water, it cannot catch fire. Okay, it will only get heat, but it will not catch fire. So that is the reason you are boiling the alcohol in water bath. Why should you boil the alcohol? In boiling alcohol, whatever the color is there, this color will be decolorized, and the leaf will be getting decolorized. Means green color of the leaf will be completely lost, because the chlorophyll is an organic solute and alcohol is an organic solvent. So as the chlorophyll dissolves in boiling alcohol, the solution turns green color. Why should you make the chlorophyll get dissolved? If chlorophyll is present intactly within the leaf in that green color areas, then our next step of this activity will be getting disturbed. That is, we are going to check the presence of starch with iodine. If chlorophyll is present, we cannot do this activity. So chlorophyll must be removed out. So by dissolving only chlorophyll in the boiling alcohol, we are taking it. So the solution turns green because the chlorophyll is getting dissolved in that alcohol. Now take out this leaf and just put it or dip it in dilute iodine solution. Take out this leaf and put it in dilute iodine solution. This leaf, just put it in dilute iodine solution. Wherever previously you have marked in that area, means the marking has been lost in this leaf, but you have just taken on a paper to compare. When you put iodine solution, or when you keep this leaf in dilute iodine solution, earlier wherever the green color is present there, it will turn blue-black. Blue-black color is going to be appear. The appearance of blue-black indicates that starch is present there. In other areas, starch is not present. Why starch is present there? Because of photosynthesis, the stored form of carbohydrate, that is starch, is made in that green color area. Why in only green color area? Because photosynthesis requires chlorophyll. Green color area contains chlorophyll. Right? With this experiment, it is proved that chlorophyll is essential for photosynthesis. Right. Next, how plant obtains carbon dioxide? How plant obtains carbon dioxide? I have already discussed that plant obtain carbon dioxide through stomata. Plants obtain CO2 through their stomata. Stomata are the tiny pores that are present on the surface of the leaves. Stomata are the tiny pores. Tiny pores. Tiny means very small. Present on the surface of the leaf. In dicot plants, they are present only in the bottom surface of the leaf. In monocot plants, They are present on both the surfaces of the leaf. Right. So gases exchange takes place through the stomata. Means CO2 enters into the plant cells through the stomata and O2 leaves from the plant cells through the stomata. So for photosynthesis CO2 is required. That CO2 enters through the stomata, and by photosynthesis oxygen is liberated. That oxygen is just released out into the environment through the stomata. And one point we have to remember is photosynthesis takes place only in the green color areas, whereas respiration takes place in all areas of the plant body. So exchange of gases occurs not only in the leaves but also on the entire surface of the stem, root and leaves. Large amount of water also is going to be lost through the stomata. This process is called transpiration. Transpiration is the loss of water through the stomata in the form of water vapor. When the water will be lost, when the stomata are open, then only water will be lost through the stomata. When the stomata are closed, then water will not be lost through the stomata. How this opening and closing of the stomata takes place? If we look at the structure of the stomata, stomata contains a pair of guard cells, which are in kidney shape or bean shape, and surrounding them some companion cells. These guard cells, when they swell, then the stomata open. These guard cells, when they shrink, then the stomata gets closed. So, when do these guard cells swell? When water gains entry into the guard cells. The guard cells will swell and stomata will open. When do these guard cells shrink? When water is lost from the guard cells. Then the guard cells shrink and the stomata gets closed. So the opening and closing of the stomatal pore is the function of guard cells. Right? So in the next activity we will learn that CO2 is essential for photosynthesis. Right? So this activity we will discuss in the next class. Thank you.